Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, wanting to bring you a look at the new Star Wars The Black Series R2-D2. A new R2-D2 is a figure that has been needed in the line since the old one came out in 2013. The scale on that was so terrible, Hasbro has completely thrown that sculpt out, gone head to toe brand new on this guy, scaled him up, and I gotta say, first impressions already looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and get into the review, see if he's a worthy addition to the collection. Alright, let's go ahead and get into the packaging. This is your standard Black Series stuff with your Black Series logo up above a big window showing R2 and his accessories off nicely. You have Star Wars The Mandalorian in orange across the front, which is his most recent appearance. That's why they decided to do this guy. R2-D2, R2-D2. Warning 4 Plus Hasbro. Around this side, you have that picture of R2 with some gadgets popped out, his name down at the bottom, and on this side, you feature your wraparound window, your wraparound orange stripe, and your Black Series logo at the bottom. Looking straight back, you have your Black Series logo, you zoom in on the artwork, a bio about language in varying languages, pause and read whichever language best applies to you. He's number 32 in the Mandalorian lineup with a bunch of legal stuff, Disney and Hasbro logos below that, with a barcode and more legal stuff and underneath the packaging. Up top is a hanger tab and a window, which allows a little bit of light into the packaging if you choose to keep your figures on card. I don't. So yeah, this is your standard stuff. Let's open them up and see what we get here. Alright, so here's R2 out of the packaging, and it's always going to start by taking a look at the accessories. Now, his accessories, while accessories are not your standard accessories like a blaster or a lightsaber, his accessories are plugins, because R2 is like a Swiss Army knife. He has a tool for every occasion. So I'm going to run through them based on where they go. He has two head-mounted ones, one being this little scanner and like a spring pole. You remember he was scanning for Luke in Empire Strikes Back, and this thing was kind of spinning on his head. So that's a really cool one. I do like that one. He also has his little periscope where one of his blue panels pops up and there's a little eye on a pole underneath of it. Excellent attachment. This one, I gotta be honest, I'm not 100%. I don't know if this is like his taser thing where he, zaps people, but it's kind of basically a triangular prismic shape on the end of a shaft. This one is his little plug-in tool. Like he'll go and he'll port up with like computers to open doors and get intel and stuff. Nice little bit of like coppery brass painting in the center. Otherwise, these are all in a base kind of silvery gray plastic color. They all have a nice amount of detail though. This, I'm pretty confident, is his welder tool, where like he'll lean in with this pointing down and he'll, app at some stuff. So this is really nice, gray plastic base with kind of a shiny black for the actual welder tool itself. Woohoo! And then this is kind of like his little grabber claw hand. This is like when he grabbed the lamp away from Yoda and Empire and they were fighting over it. So that's a really nice attachment. I do like this a lot. This one's kind of useful because it's big enough around that you could probably use it to like hold different accessories. You want to like have someone hand them, their lightsaber to hold while they go talk to someone or whatever. So like that's a nice hand there. No paint, just all gray. So they all poured into places and I will show them off as we go. But first, let's just take a look at this guy. He looks really, really good. He has a very nice solid white plastic for the body. Has just enough shine without being shiny itself. I adore that. He has a nice blue for all of his panels on his dome with the red light in the front. And he just looks spectacular. Some nice silver paint on that dome. This light in the back is lime right now. That's pretty cool. Not really a lot of paint on the back except for at the bottom, but I feel that's accurate. He has his blue side pieces here, which on the old R2 would pop off for jet thrusters. They're not included here, but that's okay. He doesn't use them that often. Little silver punch-ins everywhere. I love the copper color on these little hoses on his feet there, and that is just superb. Talking about feet, I do want to show he has a third leg. So let's just bring in that old R2. So for starters, I'm just going to put them side by side and get the size comment out of the way, because this R2 was small. I'd almost gotten to where I accepted it, though. I was like, hey, this is just what we're going to have. But he definitely is underscaled. They've scaled him up significantly here. But let's talk about that third leg. For his third leg, there is no pulling it out. He has a gimmick. You crank the head and it spins the leg down, and then if you go too far, it does that, and that just sounds terrible. And I just don't really like that mechanism there. And then, you crank it back up. And it's just, the head will always click. Now, you can ratchet it, and you're not going to damage it. And, you're not going to break anything there. But, setting this aside, this leg here just works out by friction. You have to grab it and pull it down. Honestly, it's very, very snug. A lot of things are with this figure. I've been using my little scraper that came with my 3D printer just to kind of get in and, you know, grab something to lock out. And when you pull it down, it does click out. And yeah, his ankles have that little articulation, so you can get him in like his rolling mode. Another thing, I've seen that people are bitching about it. I can't say it's important, but he doesn't have wheels. He has these molded in little treads on the bottom of his feet. The original R2 did have little wheels that don't really, like, I mean, they turn, but they're not like frictionless. Like, he ain't just gonna glide along, and honestly, it's fine. He scoots. It's whatever. So let's start looking at some of these accessories and where they go. On the top of the head, if he's facing you and you turn him forward, this panel and this panel pop off. I found this a little bit easier to try and get them. You just got to pick at them a little bit, and then eventually you'll lift one side enough to get like a fingernail under. And there's that one off, and there's this one. We're going to work on this one now. The original R2, or any astromech on that old R2 body, have been very prone to losing these panels. So these being kind of snug on R2 is very reassuring about the longevity of these, because I have some astromechs that I've lost them on, just straight up. This thing, I don't want to mar anything, but they are a nice secure fit. So now you see underneath of those panels, it's silver, and there is a post inside. Now, they are the same size posts for these two head attachments. The inside attachments are a different diameter. So you can just port them in whichever spot you like. They can both be on. You can use one at a time. But as you see, they can fit in either side. Almost lost the stethoscope thing, or the extendoscope, or whatever. So yeah, they can fit on either side securely. They're not going anywhere. So that is nice. I'm going to set those aside and just report these. Don't want to lose those. Now, for his other arms, they come out of his chest, torso area. You have to... The other thing is my fingernails are relatively recently trimmed, so I don't have a ton of leverage to get in there with, but that's fine. Come on, I got the camera going, R2. There we go. So these doors only open out a little bit, but if you look inside each side, there are 3 receptacles of varying heights. So the idea is you can stick these in wherever you need them to. Let's go ahead and stick his welder in, and all 4 of those other tools will fit into any of these 6 ports. Put that welder in, lean him forward, you know he's working on something. Maybe his little taser. Sorry about the air freshener there. The little grabber-do hand, and the computer terminal arms. That's all 4 plugged in. You can put any of them in any of the 6 positions. I'm not going to swap them all per se. So now, if you're going to pose R2 like I am, like those are nice accessories. This is how R2 is going to sit on my shelf. But you've got this pile of accessories here. Well, don't worry. They've done something excellent here. So, in-universe, astromech droids, and we never really see it. They can extend their heads out, and this is how it actually worked with the Naboo Starfighter in Episode 1, because the head was so far up into that collar thing, you know, where there wasn't actually his shoulders right there. The idea is the heads can raise up to peek out. So that's really cool that they feature that. But if you look inside, there's a little bit of sculpting, and it's nice, but there's also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 channels in there. And what those are there for is to pop these accessories into for storage. And the idea being that you will never not have your little tool pieces for R2 to use. So if at any point you wanted to pose them up with one of these, you can. They're a little snug, a little fiddly, but the fact that they factored in storage for this guy is absolutely insane. I am very happy that Hasbro had the forward thinking on this one. Sometimes they just give you a bunch of accessories, and then the figure won't even have like a holster for that extra pistol that you're not really looking to use. So man, this little scanner scope is giving me hell on it, ain't it? There we go. That's a good spot for it. Clicked in there. So there you go. That is all 6 tools popped in. There we go. It's all 6 tools popped into place. You just push his head back down. They're all secure in there, and that is insane. And when they're all loaded up, you can still pivot the head. Everything's great. So I will pop out his third leg again here real quick. And I'll show you what little articulation he has. He has everything you could possibly hope for. He has a swivel head. His arms rotate at the shoulder. You can do 360 if you like. And then the ankles swivel forward and back on all of these. So you can do anything you want that an R2 unit can do. So I'm particularly pleased with how this guy has worked out. This is just a great update. Let's do some size comparisons here. So here he is next to his counterpart throughout all of the trilogies. Here he is next to 3PO. Now 3PO, I gotta say, I liked how he would stand with the older R2. This one almost feels too tall now, or the 3PO feels short, because I had just gotten used to this being the setup. But this doesn't look bad. I'm pretty satisfied with how this looks. I will also bring in Luke Skywalker. This is the Book of Boba Fett one, wearing the cloak because I misplaced my my Imperial Light Cruiser. But gotta have that Disney Luke to go next to R2 because, of course, they've put him in Mando packaging. So I think he scales nice. I think he does everything that you could ask him to do. I'm very happy with this guy. So, end of the day, what do I think of this Black Series R2-D2? I love it. I'm incredibly happy with how this has turned out. And this is everything I could have hoped for in a Black Series R2. I never hated the old one. I knew it was small, but I didn't hate it. But this is definitely an incredible upgrade. I'm glad that they're already starting to use it because we have the R2-D2. We have 2 different variants of that coming. We have Grief Karga's astromech droid. I mean, they are swapping heads and running with this guy. So I think that this is a great new body. I hope to see it for years to come. It's one of those rare ones like the 2023 clone, you know, the Phase 2 clone and the Apo where, you know, if they just repainted this to the end of time and they never ever modified it, I'd be okay with that. I think that this is like the definitive astromech droid in Black Series scale. So I'm happy with it. I think you'll be too. I think he's a great upgrade for what you may already have. And let's be fair, the white, silver, and blue R2 is an expensive figure before this came out. So if you didn't have him before, why don't you buy the cheap one, the new one, the reasonable one? And if you already have the old one, upgrade. You will be happy you did. I'm going to go work on some other stuff. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that end of video stuff. I'll catch you next time. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you, and I'll see you later. Bye.